y'all, I'm Tiana Michelle and welcome back to my channel. In a recent vlog I did probably my best rod set and it was so cute that I had to run it back. And here's a little hair charcuterie board of all the products I'll be using, and of course they'll be linked down in the description box. Starting out with the Kenra Professional Blow Dry Spray. I always use this one or the Anti-Frizz Treatment by Amika. And I like to go ahead and prep my hair before blow drying it in 4 sections. I start on damp hair. If I use my Revair when my hair is drying, it just gives crunchy results that I'm not really a fan of, so I always make sure my hair is a little bit damp, and that's also why I like to use heat protectant sprays. Going ahead and prepping my hair with the heat protectant does seem to be a little bit more time consuming at first, but trust me, it saves so much time during the blow dry process to already have the products applied to my hair. I do the same process throughout my entire head after splitting it up into sections, where I spray the product to each section, brush it through, twist it up, clip it out the way until I come back to it. And I'm moving pretty quickly because I want to be finished with my hair before the sun goes down. Even though I don't hair type, I feel like it's helpful to know your hair's density. That way you can tailor your routine to your specific needs. Take my hair for instance, I have fine strands but very high density, and my hair is also low porosity. So while you may prefer to do your rod sets on wet hair, for me, I'm not putting myself through that pain. I'm not about to set myself up and be sitting under the dryer for 3 hours just for my hair to still not be dry. I'm not doing it. Which is exactly why I blow my hair out before I do my rod sets. It makes my drying time so much quicker. I mean, it ain't really that much quicker because I still sit under the dryer for 2+ hours, but at least I know when I take my hair down, it might be a little damp because my hair is she's just difficult like that. But it is infinitely closer to being dry than if I were to start on wet hair. And I'm using my Revair here on high speed level 7 tension. And one thing about me, I'm gonna take a shortcut. What I'm doing may not make sense to you at first, but the blowout time is so much quicker for me. I don't feel like sitting through my Revair. I don't feel like sitting through the process of blowing out my hair with my Shark. So I'm gonna just use both. What I'm doing is using the Revair to go ahead and stretch my hair, although I'm not stretching it to be 100% dry because I just don't feel like putting myself through the time that it takes. I'm impatient. Although my hair is not completely dry at all, it is still stretched out enough to where if I go ahead and brush it and put it in a plait, it'll stay stretched out just right until I come back to it with my Shark. And that's exactly what I do. Now you could stop here. You don't have to stretch your hair out all the way for your rod set if you don't want to, but that's just what I like to do. I zoomed through that, so I would say it took no longer than 15 minutes for me to stretch it halfway dry. And while I'm working on one side of my head, having the other side plaited up allows it to stay stretched even more, so that by the time I come back to my hair with the Shark, I'm really just going over it to touch up my roots and finish drying my hair, but it stretches out really easy. I switch between my paddle brush and the attachment that comes with the Shark dryer. For the heat settings, I'm using the lowest heat at the highest speed. And side note, I love my braid outs, love my wash and goes, but I really do enjoy my stretch styles because I am learning that I really do not like the feeling of my hair being wet and touching my skin. Even when I put a towel over my neck, it's still just I don't like it. This is something that I did not think about when I decided to grow my hair out. Of course it shrinks up while it dries, but dealing with the changes as it gets longer, there are differences, and I didn't think that it would be that much different. But I've come so far, so I'm not going to talk myself out of the progress, but how long am I actually going to keep my hair waist length when I reach waist length? I don't know about that. If any of you are on a length retention journey currently, or you've already reached your hair goals, let me know once you reach your desired length. Did you keep it there, or were you like, okay, this was cute, this is cool, but let me go ahead and cut off however many inches just so that I'm more comfortable? Let me know in the comments. And y'all be letting me know things that I didn't know, and I really appreciate that. I had no idea that you can get certain Pattern Beauty products at Ulta for 50% off right now. So the Pattern Beauty mousse that I'm using, that I use all the time, you can get a really good deal on it. I found out from a comment made on a community post that I put up. Since I upload every week on either a Sunday or Tuesday, I like to do a community post and let you guys know in advance, since it does vary from week to week randomly. And that post is how I found out about this deal, so thank her if you didn't already know about it. Now when I do my rod sets, I either like doing the curl days method, or lately I've been liking this one a lot. With the Pattern Beauty mousse specifically, I do 3 pumps per section. That is the perfect amount for me. My hair is not becoming fully saturated, but it's damp enough to hold a curl around the rod. I've done a lot of trial and error to figure out the amount of product that works for me. When I use too much, my hair shrinks up more, which is fine, but I would like a more elongated look. And when I don't use enough product, my hair feels drier and the curls don't last as long. In this video, I'm not skipping through. I want to show the whole process from start to finish. I'm not sure what size flexi rods I'm using, but I will link them down in the description box. Also, I use 12 rods in total. I split my hair into 4 sections and I do 3 flexi rods in each quadrant. Since I want my curls to be elongated, I wrap my hair down about 3/4 of the rod. I don't wrap it down the entire rod. That way I'm able to secure it around the roots of my hair. And the way you wrap your hair around the rod definitely dictates the curl. If you want your hair to dry in more of a coil, then you would wrap your hair around the rod in a way that's sort of flat. Basically, you wouldn't see as many gaps down the flexi rod like you see with my hair here. If you start at the ends of your hair and roll your hair up with the flexi rod, that also gives slightly different results, but it's all about preference. I personally prefer the corkscrew method. I absolutely love the way that my hair turns out when I do this method. So I just start at my roots and I wrap the hair down the rod, but I'm not twisting it flat. I'm going away from my face and sort of corkscrewing it or twisting it back as I'm wrapping it down the rod. And I love this method, but my ends have always had trouble staying, which is why I use scrunchies at the end. I'll never get on the internet and claim that I'm the originator of anything because you just never know, but I've personally never seen anyone add scrunchies or silk scrunchies to the end of the rods, but I'm telling you, it's super helpful. Out of the entire process from start to finish, I would say the blow dry process and sitting under the dryer to wait for the rods to set are the bulk of time. Once I start installing the rods, it's super quick because I only do 12 and I've been doing this for so long that I just zoom through and I'm done. Another tip for a quicker drying time, if you're okay with your curls not starting directly at your roots, when you're applying your product, focus it at a couple inches from your roots on down, and that also helps a ton with the drying time, especially if you have very dense hair. I meant to mention this a little earlier in the video, but another reason why I like to wrap 3/4 down the rod is so that there isn't a bunch of tension at my roots. After doing this a lot, I learned that it doesn't have to be uncomfortable and super tight for you to get the results that you want. I try to make it as comfortable as possible, especially being that I'll be sitting under a hooded dryer for hours. And the reason I've been using this Pattern Beauty mousse since it came out for my rod sets is because of the shine. I know y'all can see the shine on this hair. This is my favorite mousse for rod sets and I have tried a ton. We aren't even finished yet and I'm already thinking, okay, this might be a style that I wear more often. I'm really loving rod sets more and more. I'm about to turn 30 and they just make me feel a little grown. I always feel so accomplished when the last rod goes in. I'm like, oof, we're done. Yay. And as you can see, you don't have to worry about the parts being straight, although you probably don't want to have a part going straight down the back of your head like I do. I don't know why I keep doing that. At this point, it's 3:40 p.m. and I want to be done before the sun goes down. I don't think that's going to happen, but close enough. I put myself through the torture of sitting under the dryer in high heat, but I was done in 2 hours. When I got from under the dryer, it was about 5:55 p.m. And of course, I have to hope and pray that my hair is fully dry before I take these rods down. There's a chance that it may be a little damp in certain sections where my hair bends, but I got a quick and easy solution for that. I go ahead and take the scrunchies out first so I can easily speed through the takedown process, which is honestly my favorite part. I love taking the rods out and seeing those curls. Every time I take the rods down, I go ahead and twist my hair back in the direction that I installed them, which is away from my face. That's also the process you'll see soon once I start separating them. Don't y'all feel like moisture and wetness can sometimes feel very similar? Like when your hair is moisturized, super moisturized, you're like, okay, is my hair damp? Is it wet? I don't know. I don't think my hair was actually damp. It may have both been so hydrated and moisturized that it was confusing me a bit, but I still hit it with my dryer in certain sections. And whenever I have to do this, I always scoop the curl up into my hand and dry it that way. You don't want to do it stretched because your hair may expand and frizz or stretch out from the heat of the blow dryer. That's just an easy way to help your hair finish drying without ruining it. But you can only really get away with doing that when your hair is just slightly damp, almost dry. But if you take the rods out and your hair is still sopping wet, doing that method isn't really going to do you any favors. Of course, there isn't much volume when you first take the rods out, but the shine is there and so is the movement. This is where I really take my time because the separation process can make or break your outcome. You never want to just start pulling your hair apart. It's going to cause a lot of unnecessary frizz. What I always do is stretch my hair down and start separating where you already see those gaps and my hair just naturally separating on its own. It even pulls apart very easily. And as I'm pulling it apart, I go ahead and twist it back in the direction that it was installed, which again was away from my face. And that also also keeps the style from waving up too quickly because this is already an elongated style. This rod set is going to slightly stretch out more and become bigger curls, slight waves towards the end. Just twisting it back in the direction that it was installed allows me to keep the uniformity of the curls for longer. This is the process that I always do. I'm gonna stop talking and let you see it all the way through. When you get to this point, you can honestly leave it like that. It looks amazing, but I don't stop here. And that's mainly because I don't like all of those harsh parts. So I am going to try to get rid of them a little bit. They're not going to be fully gone because it is day one hair. I just take a big raking comb and comb down at my roots. I don't go all the way through the curls. Sometimes I do about halfway. I think it's really cute, but that's not the look I'm going for today. I'm really just doing this to kind of get rid of those harsh parts. You know, it takes practice to get a style to turn out exactly the way that it did before, but I think I found my method for this one. Another extra step that you don't have to do is smoothing down your edges. I use the Kiss Edge Fixer and I do the same little edge styling that I always do. Swoop, 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 swoop. It adds a little razzle dazzle to the style. And I am so loyal to my middle part, but I'm trying my best to start wearing it in the side part. So I did install the rods in a way to make it easy for me to just swoop this hair over to the side to make a side part, and I like it. And the style is complete. If you want to see how I maintain this rod set over the course of a week, check out next week's upload. It will be a week in my hair. All I've ever wanted to do since I began creating content 8 years ago was build a strong community, and I feel like I am just now getting to the point where I am starting to do just that, and I'm so grateful for y'all. Most of y'all came for the hair, but more of y'all are giving me a chance outside of that. You want to know more about beauty, about fashion, about lifestyle, and I can't put into words how thankful I am. I love y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.